Hey guys, Rick here from Stony Acres Gardening. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about 5 different ideas for containers that you can be using to start your seedlings in when you're doing your indoor seed starting. Now before we get started, please make sure you subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell so you get noticed every time I release new videos. Go follow us over on Instagram as well, and I'd love to see you get signed up for the wait list for our Seed Starting Workshop, which is coming up on February 13th. There's a link right up here or down in the description you can click on to get on that wait list so that when it goes on sale, we can send you a notice. So we are moving into the seed starting time of year. It's mid-January right now, and soon, in February, a lot of us are going to be starting a lot of our seedlings indoors. And so I wanted to talk today about some container ideas that you can be using. So I've got 3 that are recycled containers, and then 2 that are containers that you can be buying at stores. I'll kind of go through each of them and tell you which one is my favorite as well. So let's start off with toilet paper tubes. This is actually a great fun idea. I've used these before and they work out really well. One warning that I will give you is they're not really big, and so you don't want to be planting things like tomatoes or peppers that are going to get big and need to be potted up. So instead I would do smaller things like lettuces and other greens that are going to be transplanted out fairly quickly. That will work out really well. Other things that I found that have worked well in these are beans and peas, because again, they're not going to be too terrible long inside these containers, and these will work out well for things like that. So basically you just put some slits in the bottom, fold it up so that the soil stays in, fill it up with soil, fill a container with these. You can water them from the bottom, which is really nice, and they work out great as seed starting containers. Next on our list is any kind of plastic cups. So here, something simple like these, the small clear ones. You can use the red Solo cups. Anything like that will work out really well. The thing I like about these is they're nice and big. Even this smaller cup is big enough that I could bring a tomato all the way up to transplanting stage in this container and it would still have plenty of space. Never need to pot it up. So these work out really well. One thing that I will say with any of these recycled containers is you need to make sure that they have holes in the bottom. So I've drilled some holes in the bottom so that we have drainage. We don't want water pooling and collecting in the bottom of this container. So it needs to have a way for that water to drain out. Beyond that, simple, easy, all over the place. You can just, the next family party you're at, just grab them all out of the garbage can and rinse them off before you use them, and away we go. These work out really well for starting seedlings in, so good option for you. Here are a couple of other recycled options that you can choose as well. If you're a yogurt eater, you can use these little yogurt cups. Again, drill some holes in the bottom. Cottage cheese containers like this, or we see these kind of plastic containers around quite a bit. These work out really well also. Again, holes in the bottom so we have good drainage. Just make sure when you're using any recycled type container that it's food safe. We don't want to be using like old oil containers or things like that that have had chemicals in it. Something that's had food in it is going to be safe for you to use with your seedlings. So any of these types of recycled options that are a hard plastic will last for several years and should work out really well for your seed starting. Next on the list, we have these peat pots. So these are something that you can buy at stores. I've got a couple of different sizes for you here. They're made out of peat moss. Sometimes you'll find them as well that are made out of cocoa coir. And they're basically just pressed into this pot shape. And they're really, really good for a lot of different containers. There is one disadvantage that I'll talk about. But if you are in particular growing things that don't like to be transplanted. So here I'm thinking about like squash or cucumbers, melons, all of those plants really do not like to be transplanted. They don't like to be dumped out of the pot and then transplanted into the ground. That disturbing of their roots really causes a lot of transplant shock. And so these containers can work out really well for those types of plants because you don't have to take them out of the container. When the plants are ready to go outside, you just take the container out, plant it in the ground. It will decompose. The roots will grow right through it, and no worries. And a lot less transplant shots. So they work out really well for that. The one disadvantage that I found is these seem to be a little bit harder to keep wet. So I think it's because the peat kind of wicks the moisture out of the soil and into the container itself. So they are a little bit harder to keep moist. Other than that, they're a great option. You do have to pay for these. These are, they're not terribly pricey, but you do have to buy them. But a good option, especially for those that don't like transplant shock. And then last on our list are these plastic containers that are made for seed starting. So these are my favorite. And the reason why is because they're made to do the job that we're asking. We're not trying to improvise. And so if you're all about recycling and reusing, these last for years and years and years. I've had some of these last as long as 10 years. I actually have never lost one of these. So it's a good, solid, sturdy container. And, like this one here is at least 12 years old. And so they last forever, work out really well. And the reason why they work so good is because they already have the holes cut in them, and they're designed for this project, for seed starting. So we put these in trays, and then we water from underneath. And so instead of pouring water on top of these, we actually pour water in the tray. And then these holes are designed to allow the water to wick up into the soil. And that's perfect for seedlings. They really like that bottom watering. And so these are my favorite just because they work so well. They're designed to do it. And that's a great option for you. So if you can find these, you can buy them in the online or in your nurseries, or you can grab them from your neighbor when they're planting their flowers in their yard, whatever. But a really good solution, probably the best solution for starting your own seedlings. Okay. All right. So there is 5 different options for you for containers for seed starting. And like I said, now is the time to really be thinking about seed starting and collecting those, because very soon it's going to be time for us to start seedlings indoors. And in fact, we have a workshop coming up that will be on February 13th, where we're going to take you through and teach you how to grow your own seedlings. This is a 8-day actually workshop where you will learn how to grow your own seedlings. We go through, have pre-recorded videos every day to cover all the different aspects, all the supplies you need, soil, lights, care, watering, fertilizer, everything that you need to know to grow your own seedlings indoors. It's a great program, 8 days long. On day 8, we actually have a live Q&A broadcast where you can ask me questions. We've tried really hard to keep the price down, so it's only $29 for this entire 8-day event. That includes all 8 days of the classes. There's a workbook that goes along with it. We have homework assignments to help you along as we go, and then a prize drawing at the end. All of that for just $29. Right now, it's not on sale yet. It'll go on sale February 6th, so we're actually taking names on the wait list. So you can either click this link right up here or the one down in the description of this video, and that will take you over. You can sign up for the wait list. That's all I have for you for this week. Thanks for watching and sticking with us this long. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so you know when I release new videos, and then go follow us over on Instagram as well. Okay, thanks guys. Happy gardening.